to talk about the contribution that anaerobic digestion can make to resource efficiency. And RAP's vision is a world without waste, where resources are used sustainably, resource efficiency. And our mission is to help businesses, local authorities, individuals to reap the benefits from sustainable products and from making the best use of resources. Our approach to that is something that we call resource efficiency loop. And that's about making sure that, first of all, we design waste out, design for the most efficient use of resources. Then we make sure they're used and reused in the best way. And then that what's left is collected, recovered and recycled in the best way. And that's where the loop starts again, because you need to design it so that it can be recovered and recycled too. And the four themes that RAP follows for this are around design and resource minimization, working with business, reducing waste to landfill, and then working on infrastructure and market development. And I really want to talk about how edie fits into that today. But my focus is going to be food waste, and that's been the focus of RAP you'll have seen over the last few years. The contribution around food waste. Now, we produce 16 million tonnes of food and drink waste every year from the UK, and about 7 million tonnes, over 7 million tonnes of that goes to landfill. And if you top up all the carbon dioxide emissions associated with that, it's over 20 million tonnes. So the impact of food waste is really significant, which is why we've been working on it. And in fact, if you look at food production, distribution, storage, preparation, disposal, it accounts for 20% of greenhouse gas emissions resulting from UK consumption. So when we're talking about 80% reductions, you can't really overestimate the importance of food waste. Our strategy for approaching food waste is first of all to try to prevent it, and with resource efficiency the first thing is always trying to prevent waste, but then what waste there is, making sure it's collected and then processed, and then making sure there are markets for what's made for the processing of food waste. And if we do that, we get less waste, less carbon dioxide and less cost. So just to talk a little about prevention, I'm sure you've all seen the Love Food Hate Waste campaign, and of that 20 million tonnes of waste, probably 5 million tonnes of it is actually food that could be eaten, over 5 million tonnes, worth a lot of money, perfectly good food, which is why this focus on trying to make people aware of that, and also how much it's costing. It's costing the average family something like £600 a year on food that they're throwing away that they could have eaten, and that's about the size of my gas bill. So it's pretty significant. So no talk on food waste, I'm afraid, can overlook the importance of prevention. In terms of food waste collection, this is really about the resource and where the resource is. And if you look at the food waste, first of all in terms of the risings, most of it is coming from households. Then you've got food manufacturing, a small amount from retail and distribution, a small amount from schools, and then other, which is agriculture, horticulture, health and other businesses. But when you look at what goes to landfill, most of it is coming from the household. So 60% or more of food waste is from households, which is very good in many ways. That means it's accessible through local authorities for processing. In terms of sort of hospitality and some of the other business, also good opportunities there. In terms of what we do with it, I mean, talking to this audience, you know that anaerobic digestion is the hidden resource. A ton of food waste, producing something like 300 kilowatt hours of electricity and a fertiliser, which can be used to displace fossil fertilisers. And the programme we've been running around has been, first of all, to try to demonstrate the technology, to get more anaerobic digestion out there, to pretty much sort of double the processing capacity for food waste in the UK by 2011. We're trying to deliver extra, just over 500,000 tonnes of new capacity of anaerobic digestion and in-vessel food recipients. And that should save something like 300,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide a year. And so far we've got a pipeline in place to deliver that, and about 100,000 tonnes already commissioned. So that will show that the technology is there, it's real, it works, and start to de-risk it for investment. The other programme has been the Environmental Technology Fund, Transformation Fund, the edie programme there with DEFRA and DEC. And that's about working with the water industry, maximising the production of gas, getting gas back into the grid, closing the loop around the food supply chain, and then maximising environmental protection. There are 5 really quite exciting projects that we've got going on those. The first one was with BV Dairy, a medium-sized dairy where the power generation is being used in the dairy, but it's treating effluent technology, and that the effluent new technology for doing that, which is very exciting. We've then got GW Biogas. Now here the power from the anaerobic digestion is being used to power a local industrial estate, and the digestate is being used on their own farm. So again, really good example. Staples is a vegetable grower and processor, and they're using the power to run the vegetable plants, but they're using the heat for reverse chilling. So again, really exciting developments. Language Farm is a small specialist farm, small specialist dairy, and there the CHP is being used to run the dairy, but also the digestate again being used on their farm, so demonstrating the whole use of the resource. And finally, United Utilities and National Grid, where injecting sewage gas back into the grid and also using it for vehicle fuel. So the vehicle part is very important as well. In terms of getting the best use of the gas, efficiency of just electricity is quite low. CHP is better still. Heat and the vehicle fuel, you get the most out of it. So very, very exciting projects. The other side of developing our ecosystem is the financing, and a few mechanisms here. First of all, our leasing scheme, the equipped leasing scheme, which guarantees the residual value of a lease, which makes an operating lease more available and also hopefully cheaper. Now this has been used, in fact, for treating food waste, so quite a large plant. So that leasing scheme could be a very valuable way of developing projects for you. The other thing, this is something we're working on with ADBUG and also the finance industry, is a best practice guide to help streamline the due diligence process for banks and investors. And there'll be more about that from my colleague Claire Nella later in the session, a specific session on that. That's really quite an exciting development which should help to really move things on to financing, working with ADBUG and with the finance industry. And then we have the Accelerating Growth Fund. Now this is a small fund which provides loans on a commercial basis to help with the detailed design and due diligence for projects. And that can unlock access to big financing schemes. In fact, that has also been used to help start anaerobic digestion schemes. The final part of the jigsaw is the markets. And the first market to crack was the anaerobic digestate, which is superb fertiliser. In fact, if it replaces a fossil fertiliser, it's something like 5 tonnes of carbon dioxide fuel saving, a tonne of nitrogen replaced. And it's also a renewable source of phosphorus. Now Martin mentioned the deregulation work and the anaerobic digestate quality protocol, but also the PAS 110 for the standard for it. And all of that helps to, first of all, make it easier to use by deregulating it as a waste. The next thing is to really build confidence in it with sort of retailers and growers and food producers to show what a valuable and important fertiliser it is. So that's a very quick skim through the approach to rapid statement of food waste and resource efficiency and the place that anaerobic digestion has in it. Very important place. Now hopefully what I've talked about is how, in terms of developing projects, the capital programme, demonstration programmes have reduced the technology risk. The work on digestate is helping with the markets. Some of the demonstration programmes around gas into the grid helping with the markets. The feedstocks there, also things that help with the finance. So really, the message is go out and develop the projects. We're there to help and we will if we can. So, thank you very much.